Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Modern Poetry Minute. I'm your host, Cecil Fineweather Cavendish, and I'd like to thank you again for joining me as we delve into the bounteous buffet of craftsmanship that today's artists have graced us with. On today's Modern Poetry segment, I thought it'd be very droll instead to examine one of today's most celebrated of literary explorators and their exploitations. The work that I'd like to appraise comes from one of history's most successful and most exquisite literary geniuses, and is a tale that requires a preface of sorts. It is a tale of how two ill-fated, ill-conceived paramours both had to overcome the vast differences of their social extremities, and how their union would have certainly been against the wishes of their respective houses and known associates. Yet despite all that, they managed to come together and find love. It is a tale that is for the ages, that is for all ages. A tale that shows that no matter what obstacles you face in life, as long as you have an exorbitant amount of money, like me, then everything will be okay. I am, of course, talking about the wonderful novel by E.L. James, 50 Shades of Grey. This tale struck me in ways incomprehensible for me to put into words, so I thought instead I would read you one of my favorite passages. Now, while I am of the belief that no work of art should ever suffer the stroke of censorship, I realize that we may have some younger viewers that may find the following passage unredeemable for their age. So I have elected to replace any possible offensive words with the appropriate pseudonym. He leans down and Cavendishes me, his Cavendish still moving rhythmically inside me, his Cavendish circling and pressing. His Cavendish mirrors the actions of his fingers, claiming me. My legs begin to stiffen as I push up against his Cavendish. "Oh, please, Cavendish," I scream in my head. "How shall I Cavendish you, Anastasia?" Before I can react, he Cavendishes inside me. I cry out from the slap and sudden assault, and I Cavendish instantly, again and again, falling apart beneath him as he continues to Cavendish deliciously into me. Now, wasn't that an exemplary example of fine artistic penmanship? Well, that's all for today's episode of the Modern Poetry Minute. I hope you'll join me again next week as we journey through more works of today's most influential innovators of art. Once again, I'm your host, Cecil Fineweather Cavendish, and I bid you all a very fond farewell. Thank you, and good night. Oh my God. I had no idea E.L. James was a woman.